Okay, guys, I have a new idea for a YouTube series of just going over what's going on in the news. No, I'm not Philip DeFranco. This is like AI news or just, I don't know, random stuff that I think is kind of cool. So we are gonna look into that. Pause. Okay, so this is an email that I subscribe to that I actually highly recommend. It's called Superhuman Email. Superhuman Email. It's just called Superhuman. And it's by a bunch of AI nerds that send out an email every morning with everything that's happening in AI and tech in general. But mostly AI, because I mean, AI is everywhere in tech. It's like the most important thing going on right now in the world. But um, this was this morning's email. So let's read through some of this and we can go over and pick out some stories that we like. Oh my gosh, there's this guy that always messages me at work, and he is messaging me right now, and he's like the worst person to have message me. I feel like every work has that one person that's just like, oh God, just please never ping me ever. And unfortunately, this guy pings me at least once a week. Anyways, back to this. Okay, so Super ChatGPT's launch in 2022 set Google into crisis mode, worried that AI would destroy its online search business. Now, 3 years later, the tables have turned, and OpenAI is the one reportedly panicking. So that's the big story that's going on. And let's focus on that. Sam Altman issues this code red due to increased competition. Pretty interesting. Okay. Sam Altman issues code red due to increased competition. OpenAI's CEO reportedly sent a company-wide memo calling for urgent improvements to ChatGPT. The company will delay initiatives like ads, shopping agents, and Pulse to focus on making ChatGPT faster, more reliable, and more personable. The reason? Daily active users have declined significantly since Google launched its latest Gemini models. Well, it's no secret that Google seems to be taking the lead in the AI race. For those people that are really focused on AI, that are talking about it 24/7, that are in the AI kind of sphere, it seems quite apparent that the best model in the world right now is Gemini 3 Pro. Now, of course, this happens whenever a new model is released. It feels like somebody, every time Anthropic drops a new model, drops Claude 4.5, it's all of a sudden the best model in the world. Then Gemini drops it, and now it's the best model in the world. And now OpenAI drops it, and it's the best model in the world. And it's just kind of this circle going round and round. So it's not necessarily like really the craziest thing in the world that now Gemini has the best model again. They just released it at the end of November, just a few weeks ago. And of course, it's really, really good. So it would almost be a disappointment if it wasn't the best model. But if you remember, in 2022, when OpenAI first released ChatGPT, it was the only model, okay, that was publicly available. And so that automatically made it the best. And then it perennially always had the best model and, importantly, the most popular model. And I think that that's where OpenAI and Sam Altman are really starting to freak out. Because I think Google has arguably been the front runner in AI for like over a year now. I've been really bullish on Google. I think that they're killing it in the AI race. But despite being possibly the best model, Gemini has been far from the most popular model. It just hasn't had the same adoption that ChatGPT has. And so many people, especially people that don't really use AI very much, just associate the words AI with ChatGPT. Some of them don't even know that there are other models out there and that Google has possibly the best one. People still prefer ChatGPT, and a lot of that is just because it was the first. And so could this be something like people were comparing it to a potential, what is that company that was like the first, like a Netscape sort of situation? It's not Netscape that I'm thinking of, but just a company that's like the first one to this new technology. Or, okay, here's an example, MySpace. Like MySpace came in and was like the first popular social media platform, at least that I can remember. And now it died. It died very, very quickly. And Facebook is still around, and Facebook is 1,000,000 times bigger than MySpace ever was. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all of these other social media companies that have actually survived. So could OpenAI be like one of the ones that's like the first, but doesn't actually survive that long? And I think that OpenAI losing popularity is a code red for them because they need to maintain the perception of being the general purpose, all-in-one. This is your go-to AI for the general person. I think that that's what they've been trying to do. They haven't like pushed their models to be super good at coding like Anthropic has. Anthropic's been like, we are the coding model. If you need coding, come to us. Or Grok, for example. Grok's a great example of just being the one that's the maximally truth-telling AI, and the one that will like joke around with you and be the most like have the least amount of restrictions. Like that's been its thing. So ChatGPT has been like the generic first and just go for it model. And one other thing that I'll say about this, of why there's the code red, is we mentioned that ChatGPT came out 2022. It was a huge thing, number one. And Google, it was talked about at the beginning of this article, Google issued its own code red. They were like, oh shit, ChatGPT, OpenAI, they just beat us to the AI race. And Google has been working on AI for years. Like this was not, like Google hasn't just all of a sudden been like, oh yeah, ChatGPT is doing really good. We need to do that. Google has been the leader in AI since like 2015, 2014. They've been focusing on this for decades now. Coming back from DeepMind and the 2016, the AlphaGo model that became the best Go player in the world as a computer. So Google has been investing very, very heavily in AI. And so when ChatGPT came out and Google had the response of releasing Bard, and we all remember how terrible Bard was. We all hated Bard, and it looked really, really bad for Google. It's like, dude, you've been investing so much time into AI for so long, and you can't even release a model that's comparative to ChatGPT. And of course, on top of that, then it's like, okay, who's going to actually use Google anymore for answering their questions when you could just ask ChatGPT, et cetera, et cetera. So Google had that code red, but ever since then, they've been just gaining ground and gaining ground and gaining ground. It seems like they're accelerating a lot faster than OpenAI is. OpenAI seems to have not done quite as much, not been accelerating quite as fast, even though they're both accelerating really, really fast, of course. But Google went from like way behind to slowly just catching up. And now I think that they're just like slightly ahead. And so it's that switch of power there. That's why OpenAI is like freaking out. And so let's look at this article. And I bet you there's going to be probably a chart here that is saying something about the popularity amount. Okay, it doesn't really show that. The tides are turning in the AI race and the pressure is getting to OpenAI. Declared a code red. Interesting. 102 comments. Yeah, Google, which declared its own code red after the arrival of ChatGPT. Okay, now look at this. You go to Reddit, you go to AI sub, and the very first post is the death of ChatGPT. I'm in ChatGPT paid plus subscription asking about Windows BitLocker, and it's effing showing me ADS to shop at Target. Yeah, screw this. Lose all your users. Okay, so I guess it's showing a freaking ad. So yeah, rolling out ads for ChatGPT is not something that's very popular. It feels like Sam Altman is really just spreading himself kind of thin, isn't he? Like, there's so many projects that OpenAI is working on to get into every little thing with AI and find every little way to make money. And that's really good if they're all successful, because OpenAI becomes one of the biggest platforms on the planet, the biggest company on the planet probably. But I don't know. I've never been a believer in getting into too many things as a company. Like generally companies want to just focus on one thing and get really, really good at that. But Sam Altman's also a Y Combinator genius entrepreneur, supposedly. So he obviously knows what he's doing. Okay, and so this is the popularity. I can't believe I missed it earlier in this video, but you look at ChatGPT traffic decline. Desktop and mobile web, November 11th, December 1st, 2025. This is the tweet that has got a lot of traction. This is why OpenAI is in code red. In the 2 weeks since the Gemini launch, ChatGPT unique daily active users are down 6%. That's actually insane. Because one, does it coincide with Gemini? Like, is it because of Gemini that this is happening? Probably. It's probably at least part of it. So people are switching over. I'd like to see Gemini's traffic over the same period. Okay, perfect. Look at this. He literally follows up on this further down. For those wondering, there's definitely something to do with Gemini. Little hard to see here, but Gemini's usage has been a very correlated uptick in the same data range, going from 22% to 31% of ChatGPT traffic. Okay, but you're comparing it to something that's already going down. So I don't love this graphic, but it does show that it is relatively increasing. Okay, let me explain really quickly what I meant by that, because I realized that I didn't really explain that very well. Is why are you comparing it 22 to 31% of ChatGPT traffic? Because yes, you're increasing the ratio. The ratio is getting higher, but ChatGPT, the numerator, is going down. We just saw that that traffic is decreasing, and Gemini traffic is maybe increasing or staying the same, or maybe that is decreasing too, just at a slightly slower rate. So another thing that I think about is like, dude, wait, isn't this the week of freaking like Thanksgiving? Like this is Thanksgiving week, so maybe that's another little outlier of like, yeah, down 6%, but it's probably correlated with the fact that people are not working, they're not using AI. So, but I do think that this is kind of concerning that the ratio is going up. Like concerning for OpenAI, of course. So I don't know. I think ChatGPT is obviously still a great model. It's still my honestly like day-to-day just go-to model. I use it for general purpose stuff, but usually for coding, I'll either use Claude or the new Gemini model. And not that AI is bad or ChatGPT is bad at coding, but it just yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, one other thing that we can check. Let's look at this. This doesn't matter that much. I know it's kind of biased or whatever, but let's check out some rankings here. So let's go to LM Arena. This is what people say are the best models right now. Okay, and just look at this right away. Gemini 3.0, number 1. Grok, Claude 4.5, Grok again, Claude 4.5, and now GPT 5.1 all the way down at 6 for text. That's pretty bad. And yes, I know that there's problems with these rankings. They're not by any means an end all be all, but so here's what I mean with Claude being number 1. Claude 1507, Gemini 1476, and then GPT-5 1401. It is way down there. Like at least Gemini is kind of comparable, at least to Claude Opus 4.5, the non-thinking version. And of course, Claude Thinking is the best, but man, GPT-5 is pretty far down there. And then of course, I think Gemini has the best image model with Nano Banana. Nano Banana is incredible. So yeah, here we go. Text image, Gemini 3.0, by far the best. I don't even know, GPT image 1. This might be an old model. That might not be. They don't have every model on here. So, but still, like Gemini is dominating the photo generation, and also Gemini has all the compute. Google has all the compute. I don't know how OpenAI stacks up. Gemini 3 Pro for vision as well. I mean, everything is just Gemini. Text to video, that's Veo 3.1. Even Sora 2, although Sora 2 is a really good model, I actually think Sora 2 might be better than Veo. They're at least in the same vein. And I think the rankings show that too, 1362 compared to 1386. It's not very different, but man, like, what? And so here's one more thing. Is Google is a massive company compared to OpenAI. I mean, that doesn't really need to be said, but they have all the money, they have all the infrastructure to build this out in a way that OpenAI really doesn't. Like they're trying to make partners with or make deals with NVIDIA and with Amazon and Microsoft, like Microsoft especially. They even made a deal with Google to use some of their compute. They're trying a lot of different things to match, but Google just has it all proprietary themselves. They own it. They own the infrastructure, and they have TPUs. They have a proprietary chip for training their AI models, which allows them to create an AI model that is way cheaper for the public. Like TPUs produced by Google, like they already are AI chips. So, and yes, they use NVIDIA's GPUs as well, but I just don't see how, like, the perception was that OpenAI might win the AI race because they had the first starters advantage. They had the lead at the earliest point, and now it's seeming like they're losing the lead. And it seems like Gemini's caught up, like Google's caught up now that they're in the lead, and now you've got a Ferrari in the front, and you're in a BMW. I mean, the Beamer's not bad, but it's not going to catch the Ferrari. That's a dumb analogy. Anyways, what do you guys think? Is OpenAI, are they cooked? Is OpenAI cooked? Let me know. And also, who do you think is going to win this AI race? Is there going to be a winner at all, or is it going to be Gemini? Is it going to be Elon Musk's XAI with Grok, or is it going to be Anthropic, the smaller kind of dark horse that's got a lot of really good talent and has been doing pretty well, releasing probably best model in the world. So, or one of them, Claude and Gemini.